Good morning and welcome to the regular meeting of City Council on Tuesday, September 17th, 2024. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Here.
Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Mosley.
Here.
Mrs. Kill Smith.
Here.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Here.
Mrs. Warwick.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Here.
8 members present.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing for a moment of silence. Pledge of allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our next order of business is to amend the agenda. Is there a motion to amend?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Our next order of business is proclamations. We have 5 to be presented. We'll begin with Councilwoman Smith. Oh, you want me to wait? Okay. Councilwoman Strasburger?
I'll go after.
If everyone who's here for Larry Swanson can please come up. Come on up. So just to let my fellow council members know, as you've seen in the agenda, we're presenting a proclamation to Larry Swanson, outgoing Executive Director of Action Housing. You can come right over here, right over on this side. So I know that many of you have worked with Larry and Action over the years, so I want to make sure that anyone who also has remarks to give or memories to share, that you can be thinking about that as we read the proclamation and, have some time after that to share your memories and remarks. Whereas Lawrence Swanson hails from the hardworking steel town of Sharon, Pennsylvania, and whereas Larry joined Action Housing in 1979, quickly establishing himself as a leader in the affordable housing space locally and across the Commonwealth. And whereas Larry worked with Action Housing's previous executive director to build a comprehensive regional affordable housing organization, leading efforts on property improvement, housing counseling, energy efficiency, and special needs initiatives, eventually overseeing more than 1,200 housing units with a combined value of $100 million. And whereas, in 2005, Larry succeeded his predecessor as Action Housing's chief executive, whereupon he spent the past 2 decades heading 3 subsidiaries to implement construction, asset management, and tax credit efforts. And whereas Larry's determination, talents, and leadership resulted in the development of thousands of affordable housing units in Allegheny County and many more across the Commonwealth. Whereas Larry was also a founding member of the Housing Alliance of Pennsylvania, serving as the group's board president from 1985 through 1999. And whereas he served on the statewide advisory committee that established Pennsylvania's groundbreaking low-income housing tax credit program, as well as contributing to the development of what is now the largest publicly funded mortgage assistance program of its type in the nation. And whereas Larry was active in his community, serving as a passionate baseball and softball coach to many young people over the years, including a youthful Squirrel Hill boy named Corey O'Connor. And whereas Larry formally steps down from his executive director position on October 1st, freeing up even more of his time to continue his other commendable service as a proud father and grandfather. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby celebrate Larry Swanson for his outstanding career of public service to the people across Pennsylvania. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, September 17th, 2024 to be Larry Swanson Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been my great pleasure to do this work in the city of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County for 44 years and 3 months. And I want to give credit to my team from Action Housing who is here, a board member, Becky Yago, and my family, my wife Deanne, my daughter Kate. As we all know, when I started my career, affordable housing was something important to a limited group of people. It was very important to them. And the good bad of it is, as we all know, affordable housing is something that affects at least half or more of the people who live in our city, who live in our country. So there's more work to do. Lena's going to take over and run the agency. I'm going to continue to advocate for affordable housing. So thank you so much.
And we're so excited to be working with Lena now, over the last several years and into the future. She takes on this new role. Is there anyone else? Lena, would you like to say a few words, or anyone else from Action Housing? Would you like to say a few words? Would council members like to say a few words? Is there anyone who has anything else to add?
Councilwoman, I'll briefly, a couple in Uptown, Hill District, now downtown. So you've done at least 4 to 5 projects in my district. And I want to thank you for the work that you've done. And I want to thank you for being very creative in how you've gone about getting these developments completed. Because you've had to put together many various capital stacks to make these projects work. And you've been very passionate and caring for the people that also live in these buildings. So it's not just the actual building itself, but you've always cared about the people who are going to live there, the young boys and girls in Uptown that were once in foster care, the homeless individuals at the YMCA in the Hill District. And so it's always been as much as a people-driven mission as it has been the actual buildings and the rooms themselves. I just want to thank you for all your years. And I know you're stepping down, but I know you're not going away. So I look forward to continue working with you, and you're definitely in good hands with Lena. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Any other council members?
Larry, I just want to say congratulations. We worked together for many years, going back to our days with the Green Jobs Advisory Board, and not only have been, focused on housing, but thinking about sustainability and economic development and workforce development, and how all those different pieces, play together in the housing ecosystem. So I wish you the best in the next chapter of your journey, and obviously wish Lena the best in the next chapter of her journey. Looking forward to working with you, and definitely super shots out as a constituent of District 9 who lives in East Liberty, and then obviously all the great work that your husband does as well. But congratulations, wish you the best, and like Council President said, I know you're leaving in this role, but continue to be an active member of our community. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Yeah, I'll just take
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Just turn my mic off. There we go. I'm back on. Hi. I just want to say a heartfelt thanks as well, Larry. My constituents were so ecstatic about the Action Housing projects that you did in District 7, right? So we have both the Penn Matilda development and the Doughboy development. One is a preference for veterans in Bloomfield, and the other one is a preference for people with disabilities in Lawrenceville. And they really had a fabulous experience working with your team, and are so grateful to have those deeply affordable apartments in neighborhoods where the price appreciation, it rivals the price pressures in San Francisco, right? And you managed to do a very difficult site acquisition and negotiate with a lot of complex situations to put up housing that is affordable to people at 30% of the Pittsburgh AMI. Again, in one of the top real estate pressure zip codes in the entire country. So congratulations and a heartfelt thank you from District 7.
Thank you, Councilman. By the way, Lena Andrews built Penn Matilda.
I remember those community meetings, and she handled them supremely, heard everyone's concerns, responded to each and every concern, and Bloomfield is still really proud to be a partner with Action Housing in that project. Thank you.
Thank you. Would all council members like to join us? You're good.
No, you go closest to her. No, she's the one who presented it.
You want to always remember the community meeting we did at the Deaf Society. It was the quietest room in the world, and the only two voices were yours and mine, and we felt sheepish about it. That's what I remember. Right? Thanks.
Busy today? We're supposed to talk about Okay, good.
Councilwoman Smith?
Yeah, look at the camera. That's gonna get them those lights.
Will Wendell Historick please come forward? You can bring your guest. I believe your fiance, right? I have that right? Okay. I got to tell you, over the years, I've fought with people in this building, and I cared about people in this building, but there was one that always frustrated me so much, and it was typically usually the public safety director. Director, one, come over here. One. And so, right there, yeah. And so I can just tell you, the city of Pittsburgh was very safe under his leadership, and I want to thank him for his dedication to the city of Pittsburgh and all that he had done. But I hope you don't mind me telling this story. But one day we go out to lunch. It was after, because we fought almost the whole time you were here, right? and then, but it wasn't as bad as one day when I chaired public safety, and Director Huss was the public safety director at the time, and Joe King was the firefighter union president. And they told I heard all this yelling in the mayor's office, and they said, go back, go back. I'm like, well, they're yelling, I'm afraid to go back. So finally somebody said, go ahead back. So I go back, I open the door, and a book goes flying across the room. Somebody threw a book, one of them threw a book at the other. And so then I said, I don't know about this, it's a little bit uneasy, I felt a little uneasy. And then when they were all done, they said, I'll meet you at the bar, da-da-da. I'm like, so it's, the relationship between public safety and our unions are very challenging at times, and sometimes very different, and something I don't know if I'll ever understand. But with Director Historick, there was one time afterwards, we went out to lunch together, and we're talking, and he's sitting there, and I'm waiting for this lighthearted conversation. He said, buy a gallon of water per day per person. I think they're going to, do you remember this? I think they're going to check the water supply. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a fun lunch. I was afraid to drink my water then, too. But I do know that he knows what he's talking about, and he knows he is so experienced in this field, and so I just want to thank him for his service here in the city of Pittsburgh. Whereas Wendell Historick was born and raised in the eastern suburbs and graduated from Duquesne University. He is a lifetime member of the Forest Hills Volunteer Fire Department and served as a charter member of the Allegheny County Hazardous Materials Team. In 1985, he became a paramedic crew chief with the city of Pittsburgh's Bureau of EMS. And whereas in 1990, Mr. Historick began his career as a special agent with the FBI, and he still has a lot of connections there. During his tenure, he worked on numerous investigations, including commercial airliner crashes, the Oklahoma City bombing, the September 11th attacks, and anthrax attacks. He also assisted in the coordination of security for Pope Francis's visit to Philadelphia, the Pittsburgh All-Star Game, and the G20 Summit held in Pittsburgh. He ended his career as Chief of the Weapons of Mass Destruction, his career at the FBI, the Chief of Weapons of Mass Destruction's Operations Unit at FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. And whereas in 2016, after a 25-year career as an FBI agent, Mr. Historick became the Public Safety Director of the City of Pittsburgh. I mean, the fact that we had somebody his caliber is even amazing, to be honest with you. Committed to improving morale among the first responders during his tenure. He implemented new public safety policies and was instrumental in returning a fireboat to the city of Pittsburgh, brought back the police mounted unit, and placed station alerting within fire and EMS stations throughout the city of Pittsburgh. And whereas he was also instrumental in providing active shooter training, which may have saved many lives during the 2018 Tree of Life massacre. At the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, he was instrumental in acquiring vaccinations for the first responders when the city struggled to maintain staffing levels. When needed, he was also called upon to be acting mayor. And whereas his tenure with the city of Pittsburgh ended at the end of Mayor Peduto's term, and he is currently the Director of Safety and Security for the Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh. And now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and thank Wendell Hisrick for his service to the City of Pittsburgh. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, September 17th, 2024 to be Wendell Hisrick Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
You're a little bit taller than me.
A little bit taller? Thank you very much. Thank you, Councilwoman Kell Smith, for the proclamation, as well as City Council. When I took the public safety role in 2015, 2016, as stated there, my goal was to improve the morale of the first responders, the police, fire, animal care and control officer, and paramedics, and hopefully we were somewhat successful in doing that. I will say that this past weekend, I was woken up with an alarm call at a building in Hazelwood, an old church there, and two police officers greeted me, asked me if the window had been broken previously in the side of the church. I said no, and they spent a good deal of time with me going through the building, held the flashlight, and assisted me in boarding up the window. So I commend the first responders throughout the city of Pittsburgh, and I ask each one of you to make sure that they're taken care of in the future, because that's the heart and soul of the city. And I learned out when, as mentioned, I was a city of Pittsburgh paramedic back in 1985. And as I've always said, when you dial 911, it could be the worst day of your life as a citizen or a visitor of the city of Pittsburgh, and it's those first responders that make the difference of life and death. So once again, thank you. And I'd also like to thank my fiancée, Kathy King, for what she's done during my time in the city of Pittsburgh. We've been together for 11 years now, and there were many nights or many holidays that plans got messed up, and she's been the most patient individual on the face of the earth. So thank you very much.
Do you want to come up for the photo? Okay. Did you want to say anything, Dan? Okay. You want to come in, John? Ira, you want to come up? Open your product. Oh, I'm sorry. Just say don't be weird. He can't help it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good luck. He's a great guy. Thank you. And now can we have Ramon Nance? Please come forward. And your family. Pastor Nance, come up.
Sure. We add some things.
Wait for everybody to come up.
Thank you.
You could take that one too. Thank you.
Right over here. I found some of your family to leave. You have to leave. Your brother-in-law leave? Oh, sorry. Okay. So I first met the Nance family when Pastor Nance and her husband purchased a church in Esplin, a school building in Esplin, and turned it into a church. They soon turned it into a resource center for the community. And just, I mean, it's still a church, but do so much for the community. They do the food distributions there and all sorts of things. And I think, was it your partner that helped start the Upward Bound program at the University of Pittsburgh? Right, okay. So her partner had, who was it? Dr. Frazier. She was the partner of her, and she helped start the Upward Bound program at the University of Pittsburgh. But they have done so much for not just Esplin, but for the entire community. But if you know the Esplin community, it's like a shining light there because the things that they do for the community with food distributions. And I will say his wife has since been doing a lot more. And so we'll talk about her in a second. But when I met this family, they've just been amazing. And I can't thank them enough for all that they do across the state of Pennsylvania. So I want to thank you for everything you do. And we'll start with this proc, and then I'll say a few words after that. Whereas Ramon will be recognized with the Distinguished Alumni Award from Point Park University on Saturday, September 21st for his exceptional contributions to higher education, public relations, and technology. And whereas Ramon's journey began at Point Park University, where he earned his BS in Business Administration and served as a student government senator. As a student, he interned as the legislative aide in the U.S. Senate and with Pittsburgh City Council District 9. Who'd you work for? I can't remember. Twanda? Yeah, that's right. And then now, I know you work with other people. And whereas, in his current position as a design program manager for GNF Unlimited Incorporated, Ramon collaborates closely with academic institutions to design, develop, and implement comprehensive internship experiences and engages in industry professionals to provide mentorship and real-world insights significantly impacting students both in the U.S. and abroad. And whereas Ramon's faith and deep roots in the church have profoundly shaped his values and guided his efforts, he advocates for impoverished communities by spearheading various community programs emphasizing responsive and adaptable feeding initiatives that fosters long-term community resilience. In addition, he coordinates comprehensive assistance services that connect families with essential resources such as housing, healthcare, and social services. And whereas Ramon is also an entrepreneur with 3 venture-owned companies in Pittsburgh, Nance Construction Company, Unlimited Alliance Federation, an esports group, and Team Impact, a sponsored race team management group. And whereas Ramon Nance is joyfully married to, is she Dr. Annette Nance now? Dr. Annette Nance now, the executive director of the Governor Shapiro's Advisory Commission on African American Affairs. And he is a devoted father of 2 children. He is very active in his children's education, including serving as the only dad elected to the PTA, Parent Teacher Association for Edgewood STEAM Academy during the 2023-24 school year. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize Ramon Nance and congratulates him for his Distinguished Alumni Award. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Tuesday, September 17th, 2024, to be Ramon Nance Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Pastor Nance, you want to say something too?
Hello, everybody, and members of council. I want to thank Councilwoman for definitely the nice things that she said. And I definitely want to thank all of you in the city of Pittsburgh, especially even for the support both ways, because your city supports you, and you also support your city, especially because you live there. And the work that, our church is able to do in the West End, I want to say that that's been a blessing in my life to be able to learn how to contribute and learn how to help. pandemic response and the feeding programs and things like that. And also, being in the city and being able to give back in higher education, with all the schools that are here, Pitt and Duquesne and Point Park and everything, and being able to get interns in and helping them fulfill what they need for their degree and things like that is also a big help for me in my professional career. So I want to thank all of you, City Council and Councilwoman, for everything, and thank God for, blessing me, and that's it. Thank you.
Come on, I never heard a pastor turn down a chance to talk.
I truly want to thank the City Council and Teresa and Councilwoman Teresa, and she's been such a inspiration to our ministry in helping us to get things started. And so I just want to thank them for even recognizing my son. He labors a lot, and we're just grateful for everything, and we definitely keep you all always in prayer. Amen.
I'm going to say we'll have to give your wife a proclamation too, but I want to thank you, Pastor Nance, for everything you've done for the community, making sure that church stays very viable and active in Esplin and beyond. So thank you. Thank you. Congratulations.
And Councilman Wilson.
Okay, I'd like to recognize some people at the Pittsburgh CLO and what they're doing. If Mark, if you want to come up. Thanks for being here. You have someone else? No, just me. Okay. Well, I have to say that I guess it was a little over a year and a half now that my district changed. I represent District 1, so we came across the river. But Mark, you reside as a constituent of mine, but now that we work in official capacity, it's been great. I have to say, although I love Pittsburgh sports, it's nice to know that there's more to Pittsburgh and what we're known for than our sports teams and everyone, all the great quarterbacks that came. We can have Kahari Mosley come up here and Councilman Mosley come up here and talk about the great sports history. But today we're going to talk about Miss Shirley Jones and what she's done for you all in this region and for herself. So I want to recognize that in the proclamation. Whereas Shirley Jones was born in Charleroi, Pennsylvania on March 31st, 1934, the only child of Paul and Marjorie Jones, and raised in Smithton, PA. She began singing at the age of 6, and whereas she was named Miss Pittsburgh in 1952, thereby winning a scholarship to the Pittsburgh Playhouse, she made her Pittsburgh CLO debut during its 1953 summer season at the age of 19. She was soon after discovered by musical theater legends Rodgers and Hammerstein while on a trip to New York City the following year, which led to her being cast as Laurie in the 1955 film version of the Broadway musical Oklahoma. And whereas she would go on to star in should I say Oklahoma since it has an exclamation point? I feel like I'm in a Seinfeld episode with an exclamation point. I'll let you do that when you go.
Indicates it's a musical.
All right. Oklahoma. Whereas she would go on to star in 2 other classical movie musicals, Carousel and The Music Man. She won an Academy Award in 1960 for her dramatic performance in the movie Elmer Gantry. And whereas she would become a beloved mother figure to many across America through her portrayal as a musical matriarch, Shirley Partridge, on the hit television series The Partridge Family from 1970 to 1974. I was born in 1982, which she was twice nominated for a Golden Globe Award. And whereas she would sing for 9 U.S. presidents, and her performances led President Ronald Reagan to dub her the first lady of American song, and whereas she is the mother of 3 accomplished sons and grandmother of 10. And whereas Pittsburgh CLO is celebrating Miss Jones' life career and legacy on Saturday, September 21st, 2024, at the Byham Theater in Pittsburgh's Cultural District with her sons Sean, Patrick, Ryan, and they'll be hosting along with Broadway stars Sierra Boggess, Norm Lewis, Kelly O'Hara, Adam Pascal, and students of the Pittsburgh CLO Academy and Musical Theater performing songs from Miss Jones' career and sharing personal stories of her impact on their lives as a mother, performer, and colleague, and now therefore be resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby recognize and congratulate Shirley Jones on her impact on Pittsburgh and the world throughout her incredible talents as a performer in the year in which she turned 90. Be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, September 21st, 2024, to be Shirley Jones Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Mark, you say a few words?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Councilman Wilson and the City Council for this. On behalf of Shirley and her family, her sons, Patrick, Ryan, and Sean, who will be here in just one day to put this show together, we're thrilled as Pittsburgh CLO to be celebrating her career and also the role she's played as an ambassador for Pittsburgh through her work as a singer, performer, and one of TV's beloved mothers. Pittsburgh CLO is proud to be a part of this tradition, having started in 1946 at Pitt Stadium as a community engagement program, because what the city fathers, specifically Councilman A.J. Wolk and Edward Kaufman, thought the city needed after World War II to bring it together was musical theater. So we're thrilled to be continuing that tradition in our 79th year, and we're thrilled to have Shirley and her family and these amazing Broadway talents be with us on Saturday to acknowledge the cultural impact of this great town. Thank you so much.
Will council members please come up for a photo?
Hey, go to it.
All right, our next proclamation I'd like to present is one to the Heinz History Center. And I will just note that I had a recent experience with Andy Masick here. And your official role is the executive director?
I'm the president and CEO.
President and CEO of the Senator John Heinz History Center. And it was a great experience. If you ever get a chance to bend his ear a little bit, don't do that. Just listen to him, because he's a great storyteller and also a great promoter of the Heinz ketchup bottle, which is proudly standing outside the History Center now. But there's much more interesting things inside, so that attraction hopefully will draw you in. Whereas the old residents of Pittsburgh and the Western Pennsylvania established, and by the way, old residents of Pittsburgh is a group. I didn't name anyone. And Western Pennsylvania established a historical society to help preserve local history in 1879. And whereas the society expanded to include women and children in its later years. And whereas members of the Historical Society sought to preserve archival material and objects of historic significance, contributing towards forming the foundation of the History Center's collections. Whereas this society would lay ground for what we know today as the Senator John Heinz History Center. And whereas the History Center opened its Smithsonian wing in 2004, whereas the Senator John Heinz History Center is now the oldest cultural institution in Western Pennsylvania and has been recognized by USA Today for being the best history museum in the country. And whereas the History Center continues to act as a bridge connecting the past to the present, and whereas the History Center's contribution to preserving the rich and diverse history of Pennsylvania has led to the center's development of numerous educational programs, its popular exhibitions, and its appearance in numerous publications. Whereas it is with great pride and honor that the City of Pittsburgh hereby recognizes September 17th, 2024, as the Senator John Heinz History Center Day in the City of Pittsburgh. Now therefore be resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does commend the Senator John Heinz History Center for being voted the country's best history museum, and be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh declares September 17th, 2014 to be Senator John Heinz History Center Day here in the City of Pittsburgh.
May I have a motion to approve? So moved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, please.
Members of council, Councilman Wilson, thank you for this honor. You know, it's been since 1879, the History Center, formerly the Historical Society of Western Pennsylvania, has been telling the stories of people of our region, stories of courage and resilience that inspire future generations. And that's really what we're all about. We're not just looking back, we're looking to the future and using the lessons of the past to make good decisions in the present and plans for the future. So we're delighted that the Smithsonian Institution partnered with us. We have a contract with the world's largest museum that requires us to have Smithsonian objects on exhibit at all times. We have 375,000 people a year now come to the History Center to see our exhibitions and programs, visit the Western Pennsylvania Sports Museum, or go on to the Fort Pitt Museum at the Point, which we also operate. So we feel like we're the place where Pittsburghers connect with their past and understand the people that we owe a debt of gratitude to as we make history in the present. So thank you very much.
No, not mine, actually.
Should we be in the middle or? thanks again. Really appreciate it.
And we have 2 proclamations to be read into the record.
Councilwoman Smith presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, September 21st, 2024 to be Audrey Schroeder Day in the City of Pittsburgh. And Councilman Coghill presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby declare Saturday, September 21st, 2024 to be Pittsburgh Rugby Football Club Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Both proclamations have been approved. That moves us on to public comment. I would like to remind everyone that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which may be before City Council, and profanity will not be permitted. After you are called, please restate your name, provide your neighborhood for the record. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. Our first speaker is Dr. Ronald Lynn Miller.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Belshoover, Berlin, Germany. The Bundestag is the world's largest Republican Democratic body. I am the GIS Global Intelligence Society candidate for President 2024. Write in. Global Info Intelligence Network at gmail.com. I stand for uncensored freedom of speech. I have for more than 10 years from this platform and elsewhere. A concern of this council is the vote. The Allegheny County Election Division provides no vote misinformation. Is that right? Wrong. 1, vote by voter verification for whom VVVFW, copyright RLM 2020, means that an individual citizen can check or verify within the aggregate county vote total that his or her vote has not been misplaced or misapplied. Not one of the 3,143 counties in the United States permits a citizen to know if her or his vote has been MP misplaced, lost, or MA misapplied, listed with a candidate not of their choice. All counties assume some MP and MA. VVVFW decreases the probability of misplacement and misassignment from 0.1 to 0. 2, the vote system has problems. 1, vote by mail increases the probability that the vote of an individual citizen will be misplaced or misapplied to greater than 0.3 by transfer, by theft. 2, vote systems are vulnerable to computer or AI manipulation and manufacture. 3, the vote poll sites, including in Pittsburgh, across the city are vulnerable to collapse due to electric grid malfunction, misinformation in code, and malware cyber disablement. That is a public safety issue that I do not hear anybody talking about. There are vote challenges, and those vote challenges are going to be across the United States after the 5th of November. There's chaos coming. I have requested that the Supreme Court intervene in 2023, previously 2016, and I am requesting of the Supreme Court that the election of the 5th of November be delayed until the 15th of December.
Thank you very much. Our next registered speaker is Harold Keller.
Morning. Well, I'm here once again to beat a dead horse that hardly anybody cares about, but it's important to me, so I'm going to speak up about it, even if nobody else cares really. PCTV. I was on the station for 15 years, as I previously stated, and they didn't bother me about my show. I didn't bother them, so I didn't take any interest in learning about how nonprofits were supposed to work and why the station closed. But I've been trying to, since I was here 2 weeks ago, learn as much as I can about nonprofits. But there's so much conflicting information on the web about it and what people who have worked for nonprofits have told me. And I saw a 990 report that they have been losing money. So I wasn't questioning that. They lost money because they were losing their funding and all that kind of stuff without getting into all that specifics of taxes and all that. But one interesting thing I did find that I asked some people who work for nonprofits about, found it on Copilot, which says in 2022, Pittsburgh Community Television Corporation allotted a significant amount of its funding towards salaries. Specifically, 33.6% of their total expenses was dedicated in salaries, and $200,000 to $300,000 was going for salaries. The executive director's salary was $88,000 a year. And for the 15 years I was there, every day, rumors, gossiping here, saying, I don't want to pay any attention to that. I don't want to get involved in any of that. But the typical rumors and gossip was about the station keeping the funding for their salaries and all that kind of stuff, money not going to where it was supposed to. I said to the other producers, well, they're not our bosses. We're not subordinate to them. They need us more than we need them. So go to them, tell them your problems. I mean, I'm not on the board of directors, whoever they were. You never saw them. They only had like one open meeting a year in January. And in that open meeting, it was more or less small talk. No statistics or anything were presented about where the money was going. So it kind of made me suspicious. And I talked to some people who work for nonprofits, and they said, you're right. Go get them. They must have been doing something over there that was not kosher. And I said, well, I don't want to accuse anybody of anything since I have very little knowledge of nonprofits, but I'm just trying, I think for myself, nobody tells me what to think, as you could have probably imagined. And so I'm just looking for answers, and hopefully I can get some. Thank you.
Thank you. Our last registered speaker is Ralph Williams.
Yes, hello. Thank you, President Lavelle, members of council, for letting me speak today. I'm going to echo the sentiments of Harold here. He's a producer like I am at PCTV. But I want all of you here to take out pencil and paper and write down a word. It's called nothing. Because guess what? You've done nothing. The station is closed. There's nothing on the TV. PCTV is closed. And what have you done? Nothing. I haven't heard from any of you here on this council about what you plan to do about PCTV. Harold and I have come down here and spoken diligently about what's going on in PCTV, and you've done nothing, okay? I was here last week to talk about Housing Authority City of Pittsburgh, who you actually honored, and I appreciate the fact that they do what they do for the military. Thank you. Okay, again, but now we have a problem child who caused a fire in this building who should have been evicted a long time ago, and guess what was done about it? Nothing. This woman who caused this fire in this building is now sleeping at a luxury hotel. All right, why? This woman caused this fire. She should not be staying in a luxury hotel. See, you've done nothing about Housing Authority City of Pittsburgh. You've done nothing about PCTV. I make effort and time to come here to speak to you about these issues. I give you common sense ideas like using the Highland Drive VA site to put homeless people in, and they're still running around downtown. I've given you some common sense ideas like, how about getting together with the Pittsburgh Public Schools and purchasing or leasing their buildings and putting the juveniles in there if you're overcrowded at Schumann, or putting some of the homeless in these buildings. Do something. You've done nothing. That's what the whole problem is here, folks. And I don't know why you even consider yourself a council when you've done nothing. Harold and I have come down here, we bust our butts, we waste our time coming down here to talk to you about PCTV, and nothing's done. And guess what's on the screen? Nothing but colored lines. Thank you, City Council. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. If there's anyone in chambers wishing to speak, please come forward at this time. Provide your name and neighborhood for the record. Anyone in chambers wishing to speak? Agent Sunshine.
Good morning, Special Agent Sunshine. It's been a while. How are all of you? First of all, I want to return to sender any voodoo, hexes, curses sent towards me. 100 million, billion, trillion Googleplex in Jesus' name. And whoever is sending it towards me, Lord, please throw them in a lake of fire, because that's where they want to go for sending it. Anybody sending me evil eye, I return it to sender to go permanently blind in Jesus' name. I will continue to pray these prayers because I know there are people in this chambers that do voodoo. And the longer you stay in that darkness, the more I'm going to shine a light on it so bright that the world already sees it. God blesses us so that we might bless others. Lord, thank you for the incredible blessings you've lavished on me. Make me a blessing to this world. John 1:5 says, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 8:12 says, Jesus spoke to them saying, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. I can't hide the light of God that's on me, his favor that's on me. I can't hide it. It's undeniable. His protection, I'm covered by his blood. Some of you here don't believe that and are still trying to take me out. Really? Again, I no longer have a phone. Why? I'm still being gang stalked. That's how they were tracking me. A GPS tracker was in my 6th phone, which I've now gotten rid of. So now how are you going to stalk me? You have to follow me. And I promise you, everybody that you send to follow me, I see them. And I'm letting them know I see them. I'm not blind. My glasses are for reading. Dear God, thank you for equipping me to represent you in this world. Please give me the strength and wisdom to reflect you well so that others are drawn to you. If a ruler pays attention to liars, all his advisors will be wicked. That's Proverbs 29:12. So, in regard to this election, this is how I feel about it. This is the message God wants me to give you. If everybody in the justice system is corrupt, from the president down to the janitor, what are we voting for? More corruption? I think not. I think not.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please. Are there any further speakers? Seeing none, I want to go back to the clerk. I failed. There was one additional proc that I failed to have read into the record, so we could do that now.
Councilman Wilson presents, be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh declares September 20th, 2024 to be Dr. Chris Brusalis Day here in the City of Pittsburgh.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, so that was our last proclamation. So we will now move on to the presentation of papers, beginning with Councilman Charlin, Chair of Human Resources.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Morning.
Councilperson Charlin presents Bill Number 881, Resolution amending Resolution Number 411 of 2023, which authorized the City of Pittsburgh to enter into professional service agreements with Bike Share Pittsburgh, Inc., to provide annual Pogo bicycle share memberships to any City of Pittsburgh employee requesting one, and providing for the payment of the cost thereof by increasing the authorized spend by $35,000 for an additional year for a new total not to exceed cost of $70,000.
And Councilman Coghill, Chair of Public Safety and Wellness.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill Number 882, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of public safety to enter into a license agreement or agreements with the University of Pittsburgh in amount not to exceed $10,000 over $10 over 10 years for space provided in the Cathedral of Learning for the placement of public safety equipment related to radio communications and other community efforts. Bill 883. Resolution authorizing, pursuant to Chapter 210, acceptance of gifts to the city of the City Code, the mayor and the director of the Office of Management and Budget on behalf of the Department of Public Safety to receive a donation from Public Safety Dogs, Inc. of a fully trained bloodhound valued at $10,000. Bill 884. Resolution authorizing the mayor, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, and the director of the Department of Public Safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with Norfolk Southern's Safety First Grant for the purpose of receiving grant funds in the amount of $15,000 to purchase non-fluorinated firefighting foam. Bill 885. Resolution authorizing the mayor, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, and the Department of Public Safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's Highway Safety Project Grant for the purpose of receiving grant funds in the amount of $616,188.78 for enforcement and public education around impaired driving, aggressive driving, occupant protection, and pedestrian safety. And Bill 886. Resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Pulse Point Foundation in an amount not to exceed $6,000 for the city's share of the license fee for the annual renewal of the Pulse Point Emergency Services application.
And Councilwoman Gross, Chair of Innovation Performance, Asset Management, and Technology.
Mr. President.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill Number 887, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of City Planning to amend and renew the agreement with Clupify to provide a sustainable procurement platform software solution for a sum not to exceed $24,000 for 1 year, whereafter it will be put out to bid.
And Councilman Mosley, Chair of Intergovernmental Educational Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Councilman Mosley presents Bill 888, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 215 South 21st Street at no cost to the city. Bill 889, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into an NFL draft funding agreement or agreements with the Greater Pittsburgh Convention and Visitors Bureau, Inc., doing business as Visit Pittsburgh, for the coordination of municipal, governmental, and other services required for the 2026 NFL Draft at a cost not to exceed $1 million over 3 years, plus the value of various in-kind city services. Bill 890, Resolution providing for an amended reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority for costs associated with the Ruthven Street retaining wall, providing for payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $1,225,765.24, an increase of $295,328.24 from the previously enacted authorization, fully reimbursable at no cost to the City of Pittsburgh, and further amending Resolution 857 of 2023 by increasing slope failure remediation by $295,328.24. Bill 891, Resolution repealing Resolution 298 of 2022, effective June 14, 2022, authorizing the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh to acquire all the city's right, title, and interests, if any, in and to the publicly owned properties in the 26th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 77N, Lots 103 and 104, 243 and 247 Kennedy Avenue, Council District Number 6, at no cost to the city. Bill 892, Resolution approving execution of a contract for disposition by sale of land between the URA of Pittsburgh and the Pittsburgh Land Bank for the sale of Block 9M, Lot 97 in the 3rd Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, Cliff Street, Council District Number 6, at no cost to the city. Bill 893, resolution approving execution of a contract for disposition by sale of land between the Urban Redevelopment Authority of Pittsburgh and Ryan and Veronica England for the sale of Block 50G, Lots 4, 7, and 8 in the 10th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, Rosetta Street, Council District Number 9, at no cost to the city. Bill 894, resolution approving execution of a deed by and between the URA of Pittsburgh and Somerset Neighborhood Association to convey Block 88G, Lot 375, Block 88H, Lot 250, Block 88M, Lots 158, 160, 162, and 164, Block 88R, Lot 121, and Block 88S, Lot 15, private ways and open space in the 14th Ward, City of Pittsburgh, Squirrel Hill South, Somerset, Afric Park, Council District Number 5, at no cost to the city. Bill 895, resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned property in the 12th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 125H, Lot 345, 0 Bennett Street, Council District Number 9, at no cost to the city. Bill 896, resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned properties in the 26th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 77N, Lots 103 and 104, 243 and 247 Kennedy Avenue, Council District Number 6, at no cost to the city. Bill number 897, resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned property in the 20th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 42N, Lot 143, 1022 Fairdale Street, Council District Number 2, at no cost to the city. Bill number 898, resolution authorizing the Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, and into the publicly owned properties in the 13th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 174J, Lots 275 and 276, and Block 174K, Lots 273 and 274, 0, 7233, and 7235 Bennett Street, Council District Number 9, at no cost to the city. Bill 899, resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned properties in the 18th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 15M, Lots 257, 258, 259, 260, 261, 262, and 263, Estella Avenue and Chalfont Street, Council District Number 3, at no cost to the city. Bill 900, resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, in into the publicly owned property in the 13th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 174K, Lots 341, 341A, 342, 342A, 361, 361A, 361B, 387, 389, and Block 174P, Lots 141, 143, 153, 165, 171, 172, 173, 176, 179, 184, 188, 191, 192, 193, 199, 223, 259, 260, 261, 273, 274, 275, 276, 280, 281, 282, 283, 287, and 344, Bennett Street, Steerage Street, 610 Steerage Street, Kelly Street, 7311 Kelly Street, 7340 Kelly Street, Hamilton Avenue, 7317 Hamilton Avenue, 7365 Hamilton Avenue, and Formosa Way, Council District Number 9, at no cost to the city. And Bill 901, resolution authorizing the Pittsburgh Land Bank to acquire all the city's right, title, and interest, if any, and into the publicly owned properties in the 12th Ward of the City of Pittsburgh, designated in the Deed Registry Office of Allegheny County as Block 124N, lots 312, 312A, and 312B, and Block 125B, 126, 141, 143, and 160, Stovner Way, Meadow Street, Lowell Street, and Carver Street, Council District Number 9, at no cost to the city.
Councilwoman Kell Smith, Chair of Recreation, Youth, and Senior Services.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Kell Smith presents Bill Number 903, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Parks and Recreation to enter into an agreement with the Pittsburgh Board of Public Education for the purpose of providing meals in connection with the 2024-2025 food service program. Total cost shall not exceed $750,000 over 1 year. Bill 904, resolution further amending and supplementing Resolution 712 of 2022 as amended, entitled authorizing the mayor, director of Parks and Recreation, and the director of finance to enter on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh into an amended sublease agreement or agreements with the Boys and Girls Club of Western Pennsylvania for the continued operations of the Lawrenceville Senior Center located within Leslie Park as originally authorized by Resolution 55 and 91 of 2011 at an overall cost of $198,000 and with the term expiring March 31st, 2024, to extend the contract with the term now expiring March 31st, 2027, and increasing the cost by $57,600 for an updated not to exceed cost of $255,600. And Bill 935, resolution approving the recommendation made by the Director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure that the blockstone portions of the Valonia, Morena, and Uvilla streets located in Elliott be paved with asphalt in accordance with Section 41706 of the Pittsburgh Code of Ordinances.
Councilwoman Smith?
Thank you. I'd like to make a motion to waive the rules of council for Bill 0935. Madam Clerk, how many total bills did you have?
For you?
Yeah.
Three.
Okay, that's what I had to. Just seems like.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill 935 will be on tomorrow's Senate Committee agenda.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. That takes us to Councilwoman Strasburger, Chair of Finance and Law.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill Number 905, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant payable in favor of Dentons, Cohen, and Grigsby for one-time legal services rendered for an amount not to exceed $42,570.90 over 1 year. Bill 906, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor to enter into a professional services agreement or agreement with Spillman, Thomas, and Battle in an amount not to exceed $60,000 for legal services related to pending litigation involving city employees over 1 year. Bill 907, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Robert Furr and his attorneys Porter, Clark, and Ward, LLC, for a single payment in 2024 in an amount not to exceed $75,000 and full and final settlement of litigation filed in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. Bill number 908, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Jane D. Simone, Esquire, for arbitration services for an amount not to exceed $5,637.80 over 1 year. Bill 909, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant payable to the Allegheny County Department of Court Records for a single payment in 2024 in an amount not to exceed $500,000 in payment of the City of Pittsburgh's petition to interplead and discharge of all liability and costs in litigation filed in the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas. Bill 910, resolution further amending Resolution Number 863 of 2018, effective January 1, 2019, as amended, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2019 Capital Budget and the 2019 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2019 through 2024 Capital Improvement Program by reducing bus rapid transit by $249,377.16 and increasing complete streets by $249,377.16. And Bill number 911, resolution further amending Resolution Number 886 of 2021, effective December 27, 2021, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2022 Capital Budget and the 2022 Community Development Block Grant Program and the 2022 through 2027 Capital Improvement Program by reducing Bridge Preservation and Restoration Fund tip by $28,050 and increasing Swinburne Bridge tip by $584,500, of which is $556,450 of which is provided by the Federal Highway Administration and Pennsylvania Department of Transportation.
And Councilwoman Warwick, Chair of Public Works and Infrastructure.
Councilwoman Warwick presents Bill Number 912, Resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Office of Management and Budget and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an agreement with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's Automated Red Light Enforcement Program for the purpose of receiving grant funds in the amount of $453,657.21 to replace the traffic signal at the intersection of the Boulevard of the Allies and Ward Street. Bill 913, Resolution authorizing the mayor, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's Automated Red Light Enforcement Program for the purpose of receiving grant funds in the amount of $545,267.58 to replace the traffic signal at the intersection of Brownsville Road, Beck's Run Road, and Biscayne Drive. Bill 914, Resolution authorizing the mayor, the director of the Office of Management and Budget, and the director of the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation's Green Light Go program for the purpose of receiving grant funds in the amount of $2,322,564.21 for intersection upgrades at 5 locations in the city of Pittsburgh. The grant requires a match from the city of Pittsburgh in the amount of $580,641.06 for this stated purpose for a total project cost of $2,903,205.27. Bill 915, Resolution authorizing the city of Pittsburgh, the director of Public Works, and the director of Finance to enter into an easement agreement or agreements with Duquesne Light Company to provide, install, use, own, operate, maintain, repair, renew, and finally remove 1 light pole and 1 anchor along with 50 feet of vegetation clearing rights located upon city-owned property along South Braddock Avenue in Frick Park at no cost to the city. Bill 916, Resolution providing for an amended reimbursement agreement or agreements with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation for costs associated with the preliminary design, final design, utility, right-of-way, and construction phases of the Swinburne Bridge project and providing for the payment of the costs thereof not to exceed $15,400,000, an increase of $491,000 from the previously passed authorization, reimbursable at 95%, any municipal share of Commonwealth incurred costs not to exceed $16,250. Bill 917, Resolution providing for an agreement or agreements with SAI Consulting Engineers, Inc. for costs associated with the CBD Signal Phase 4 project, providing for payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $575,887.64, an increase of $0 from the previously passed authorization, 552 of 2024. Bill 918, Resolution providing for an agreement or agreements between the City of Pittsburgh and Allegheny County for costs associated with the Armstrong Tunnel project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $1,262,395.16, an increase of $249,377.54 from the previously passed authorization, 760 of 2023. Bill 919, Resolution providing for an agreement or agreement with KCI Technologies, Inc. for costs associated with the 28th Street Bridge project, providing for the payment of the cost thereof not to exceed $1,016,932.87, an increase of $44,831.94 from the amount previously authorized by Resolution 668 of 2023 to add additional funding for preliminary engineering phase of the project. And Bill 920, Resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Pittsburgh and the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure to enter into an amended professional services agreement with Kimley Horn for work on the citywide Intelligent Transportation Systems project at a cost not to exceed $313,561, an increase of $14,000 from the previously executed agreement.
Thank you. I want to go back to Councilwoman Strasburger.
Thank you very much. I'd like to make a motion to waive the rules on Bill 909 so that this bill may appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The bill will be on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Thank you. That now takes us to Councilman Wilson, Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Wilson presents Bill number 921, resolution authorizing the office of the mayor on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into a one-year mini reimbursement agreement for the 2024 Love Your Block program at a cost not to exceed $20,000 over 1 year. And Bill 922, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of City Planning to enter into a professional services agreement with Ecotone Renewables in an amount not to exceed $13,000 to support the city's USDA community composting pilot.
And on behalf of myself, if we could begin with the appointment.
Council President Lavelle presents Bill number 923, resolution appointing Barbara Warwick as a member of the LGBTQIA+ Commission with a term to expire September 1, 2027.
May we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Her appointment has been approved. Thank you for your willingness to serve, Councilwoman. And now for the three communications.
Bill number 924, communication from Jennifer Gula, Director, Treasurer, submitting the amount of minimum municipal obligation that the city is required to contribute to the pension fund in 2025, dated September 9, 2024. Bill 925, communication from Sally Stadelman, Manager, Pittsburgh Land Bank, submitting the Pittsburgh Land Bank's second quarter financial report for the year 2024. And Bill 926, communication from Jake Pollack, Director of Office of Management and Budget, submitting to City Council the attached status update from the Grants Office for the week ended September 13, 2024.
Thank you. May we please have a motion to read, receive, and file?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All three bills will be read, received, and filed. Our next order of business is committees for final action, beginning with Councilwoman Erica Strasburger, presenting on the Committee of Finance and Law.
Councilperson Strasburger presents Bill number 877, reported to Committee on Finance and Law for September 11, 2024, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 838, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant payable in favor of Proud Haven for one-time financial assistance for the 2024 Pittsburgh Pride Celebration in an amount not to exceed $100,000. Bill 839, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into a professional services agreement with the law firm of Dickey, McCamey, and Chicolt, PC, in connection with ongoing litigation involving city employees at a cost not to exceed $60,000 over 1 year. And Bill number 840, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city solicitor on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into a professional services agreement with the law firm of Comer Miller, LLC, in connection with the ongoing litigation involving city employees at a cost not to exceed $60,000 over 1 year.
You have heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Kale-Smith.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required numbers of votes, is passed finally. That takes us to Councilman Anthony Coghill, presenting on the Committee of Public Safety and Wellness.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Coghill presents Bill number 878, reported to Committee on Public Safety and Wellness for September 11, 2024, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 834, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of public safety to enter into an agreement or agreements with the Department of Justice for the purpose of receiving and spending grant funds in the amount of $966,000 to support the Office of Community Health and Safety's LED program, which aims to lower rates of recidivism, increase quality of life outcomes of participants through service provider referrals, and provide long-term support to vulnerable residents. And Bill 835, resolution authorizing the mayor and the Department of Public Safety to receive rolling grants through December 31st, 2024 from the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency in the form of Narcan fentanyl test strips and xylazine test strips valued at an amount not to exceed $150,000 to be distributed by the Office of Community Health and Safety.
You've heard the reading and the title of the bill. Is there any discussion? If none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Kale Smith.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required number of votes, is passed finally. That takes us to Councilwoman Deborah Gross, presenting on the Committee of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 879. Reported to Committee on Innovation, Performance, Asset Management, and Technology for September 11, 2024, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 836, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of innovation and performance on behalf of the city of Pittsburgh to enter into an agreement or agreements and amendments thereto with Vision Point Systems to obtain Twilio Flex support services to meet the needs of the city of Pittsburgh for a total cost not to exceed $16,000 over 1 year.
You've heard the reading and the title of the bills. Is there any discussion? If none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Kale Smith.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legally required numbers of votes, is passed finally. And finally, Councilman Kahari Mosley, presenting on the Committee of Intergovernmental Educational Affairs. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Mosley presents Bill number 880, reported to Committee on Intergovernmental and Educational Affairs for September 11, 2024, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill 837, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Office of Management and Budget to enter into a cooperation agreement or agreements with the URA of Pittsburgh for the performance of certain work in connection with housing development in the Upper Hill District at a cost not to exceed $77,662.79.
You have heard the reading and the title of the bill. Is there any discussion? If none, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when the name is called. Those opposed will vote no. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mr. Charland.
Aye.
Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mr. Mosley.
Aye.
Mrs. Kale Smith.
Aye.
Mrs. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mrs. Warwick.
Aye.
Mr. Wilson.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle, President.
Aye.
9 ayes, 0 noes.
The bill, having received the legal required numbers of votes, is passed finally. That takes us to motions and resolutions. Is there anything from members? Councilwoman Warwick?
I just wanted to say thank you to you, Council President, for the appointment to the LGBTQIA+ Commission. And I know that with former Councilman Kraus being on that commission, it was nice, of course, to have the council member seat be also a member of the community. Unfortunately, that's not possible now, but hopefully again someday in the future. And in the meantime, I'm very happy to serve. So thank you.
Thank you very much for your willingness to serve. Anything else from members? If not, this afternoon at 1 p.m., council will hold an executive session on bills 906, 907, 908, and 909, as they relate to ongoing litigation matters. And tomorrow, Wednesday, September 18th at 10 a.m., council will hold our standing committee meeting. Speaker registration will close at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. To register to speak at this meeting, please fill out the sign-up form on the council meeting webpage. You may also call the clerk's office at 412-255-2138. Need a motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.